Hey, this is Derek Depker, founder of ExcuseProof.com and multiple #1 best-selling author. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to overcome the fear of failure. One of the biggest things that holds people back, or so they think. But in my experience, what I found is oftentimes it's not so much a fear of failure. At least that's just kind of a broad term for it. What it really is a fear of loss. What if I invest my time, my energy, my money, my emotions into something and it just all goes to waste? So some people might be starting a fitness program. And what if I do this and I fail? Well, that means I spent all that time in the gym and that was for nothing. It was painful and it sucked and that was for nothing. And I gave up my favorite foods and that was for nothing. Or I start a business, and I've talked to a lot of authors as an author coach. And what if I write this book but no one buys it? That means I spent all that time on it, gone to waste, money in it, and it's gone to waste. And so as I was thinking about this, the fear of failure, and in my experience, many times what I really fear and what many of the people I'm coaching are fearing is not getting a return on an investment of some kind. So I was thinking about that and how I managed to overcome in certain areas of life that fear by doing something I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes. But right now I want to share with you an experience that I had losing a lot of time and money but turning it around. And that was when I started an online business. So I was going to create this information product, the ultimate health and fitness product. And I put together this training course. It was over 15 hours of content. So days of preparing this and recording everything, transcribing all the audio, editing it, putting it into a 350 plus page book. I mean, this took me months to complete, hundreds of dollars, which at the time as a broke valet parker was a lot of money I couldn't spare. And it completely flopped. I mean, I could only get a handful of family and friends to buy it. It had name your own price. I couldn't get people to buy this thing for $1. So it would be really easy to have called that a waste, but I kept going. I took some of the content and put it up on Amazon Kindle, and that flopped. I sold maybe 3 copies of that book in a month. And I kept going and kept going, and I'll just fast forward and say that all throughout this I could have given up, but there was one thing that kept me going, which I'm going to share with you in a minute, that got me to this point where finally, December of 2012, this was all going through the year 2012, at the end of the year, I had an idea for a book. Within 1 week, I completed that book. Within another week, it was available for sale. And in the week after that, it was the #1 bestseller in weight loss, selling over 100 copies a day, outranking Tim Ferriss on there. Massive success, and it happened in a period of 3 weeks. So 3 weeks to success? Well, not really. It took all the experience I had before that, all those quote-unquote failures, to get to that point. So I looked at that and I thought, all those things I saw as setbacks were actually exactly what I needed to make my breakthrough. So think about that. What if any setbacks that you experience or failures are what you need to make a breakthrough? Can you really call it a setback, or is it actually a great gift for you? So I actually never lost anything there because I didn't give up. You see, I could only lose if I lost the lesson, but because I got the lesson, all that time and money and energy that I put into it was really just an investment into my education. Think about how much time and money people spend on getting a college education. Well, this was actually relatively cheap in terms of time and money to get an education on how to become a best-selling author because I stuck with it. So this requires adopting a growth mindset. What is that? Well, the way I define a growth mindset is that you seek improvement more than approval. You're hungrier for feedback more than comfort. And ultimately, you desire lessons more than successes. And this is a great idea. If you've ever studied any sort of personal development, you know this idea of, okay, yeah, failures, you learn from them, they help you become more successful. Great, heard that a million times before. But it's an intellectual idea. We can nod our heads in agreement. But how does that help you when you're actually feeling the emotion of fear and you're gripped by it? Just having an intellectual idea that, oh, failure is a good thing, not going to help in that situation. So we can fight it with an emotion. And what emotion is that? Well, I want you to consider for a moment someone that you really love and that you care about. This could be a family member, it could be a friend, a spouse, anyone in your life. And now consider, would you be willing to sacrifice something for them? Would you be willing to spend a little money to buy them a gift or take them out to lunch? Might you even be willing to go so far as to risk your life to try to save their life? And when you think about that, does the thought of doing something nice for them or giving them some of your time or your energy or money, Does that seem like, oh, just, oh my gosh, it's such a big sacrifice? Or is it like, no, I would enjoy doing that. I like to do things for people that I love. Now consider this. What if the growth mindset is really just having a love for your future self? So when I do a workout, and it's not fun to go through these grueling, intense workouts, but when I do it, why would I do it? Why would I put myself through that pain? I actually get weaker. I don't get stronger in the present moment. I do it because I know future Derek is going to be grateful that I did it. I do it because I love my future self, so I'm willing to sacrifice in the short term. But here's the thing, it doesn't even feel like a sacrifice. I feel grateful that I'm able to do that because I know I'm hooking myself up in the future. Just like if I take a friend out to lunch or buy him a gift that I know is going to make him smile, I feel good about that. I don't think I'm losing money. And the reason is because of this. Whether it's doing something nice for someone or whether it's getting an education by going through some failures and some trial and error, when you value the experience more than the expense, you'll never lose. And that's the secret, to value the experience that you'll get and focus more on what you'll gain than what you'll lose. Now, this still leaves us somewhere where we go, okay, great, Derek, that's awesome, but what do I do with that on a practical level? How do I actually create those emotions? Well, now, finally, I want you to consider this. Has anyone ever done something nice for you and you wanted to pay them back? You feel grateful and it's, wow, that's awesome. They hooked me up. I want to pay them back, or I want to pay it forward and do something nice for someone else. Well, think about this. What has your past self done to hook your present self up? And what if you can take those feelings of gratitude that you have and pay it forward to your future self? So when I think about my past self, I'm like, past Derek was a badass. He was sitting in his room practicing for hours and hours on end in guitar for all those years. So now that present day Derek, me, can just pick up a guitar and rock it out without even thinking about it. Or past Derek spent all that time writing those books and sacrificing to learn about business. So now that present day Derek can go to the beach and enjoy the fruits of all that labor. So as I feel that gratitude for what my past self did, with that gratitude comes a desire to want to pay it forward. And now I go, you know what? I'm going to hook future Derek up. And I'm willing to swallow the bitter pill occasionally of some harsh lessons, of some, spending some money or some time or trial and error going through these things. I'm willing to endure that with ease and grace because I'm just smiling thinking about how I'm hooking my future self up. So that's the cure. That is the fix for the fear of failure. Cultivate a gratitude for what you've done for yourself up to this point and pay it forward to your future self. If you've ever heard the idea of overcoming fear means getting outside of yourself and focusing on others, it's the exact same thing, only that other person is future you. This is Derek Depker. If you want more of these videos, be sure to subscribe to this channel or page. Take care.